Hi, how's everybody doing? This is the weekend show.
It is, even though it feels like it was only just a day or two ago.
Just a few days ago that we talked to you last. Oh yeah, well this is the actually on time and planned weekend show. We're gonna do some. I'm Dominic, of course, joined by
the ever so happy and jubilant Eric.
Last name Ick, first name Air. That's your full name. It's your rap name. We're gonna talk about Ring of Honor. We're gonna talk about NXT. We're gonna talk about a bunch of cool and then sad and just interesting stuff that we read and heard about.
Stuff that we want to speak on
the internet, bro. No, I'm just saying. There's a lot of wrestling type.
There's a lot of stuff
news.
going on actually
Yeah,
out there that's
stories.
not exactly within the storybook lines.
Oh, a lot of breaking news. So we're gonna get to it, but first we'll talk about Ring of Honor.
That we will.
We thank you if you've listened to some or one or any or especially a few of these episodes. I know there's no one that's listened to all of them, but
you never. What if there's one guy that goes, these guys, they know what they're doing.
Dude, whatever rut you're in, you're gonna get out of it. You're gonna figure it out.
Don't worry.
You don't have to. You don't have to keep coming back here.
You will find someone. Trust me. There's always someone out there for you. You don't have to.
Yeah,
be
there's
that
a
sad.
better wrestling podcast, and that's unfortunately so true.
There's actual
Ring of
wrestlers
Honor-
that do this, so you can go listen to them.
Ooh, that's a good place to start because it's one of the weird news things. Got to listen in, and it picks up off of something we talked about on the last episode. Got to listen into the Jericho Omega podcast. Haven't finished it yet. I got about 15, 20 minutes left.
Still need
Holy
to get to
shit, man. It's awesome. I'm going to give away one thing just because it's out there, and you should have heard it already, bro, by now. So that big, fantastic table spot, the dive to the outside.
Yeah.
Totally improv.
Really? So
yeah, that's a glazing
well,
over it, summarizing way. I just don't need to give away their guts. But the skinny of it is they had a big plan for basically the move Ospreay wound up doing off that thing on the side of the ring in the 4-way match. Yeah, Jericho was gonna put Kenny in the walls on the outside, and then turn it into like what's that shit called?
When
you launch them.
Yeah,
what's that called?
The thing Cesaro
slingshot, basically slingshot. Yeah, the thing Cesaro broke his face from. But anyways, Jericho was going to go from the walls into a slingshot. Kenny was going to land on like the barricade or that thing and then do like a crazy moonsault. When they saw Ospreay do that spot, they were like, fuck.
Yeah.
And I also could be confusing two stories because they gave away like two spots. But point being, that's one of the things they said. And the other thing was their plan going in was somehow, some way, Kenny goes for Jericho near the table and he hits Don. Yeah. That was the only thing that they planned. Specifically oh man, I jumped so far and I lost my, like I'm losing my balance and like waving my arms around. He called it specifically, to quote Kenny, the AJ Styles Jeff Hardy type thing.
Yeah.
That he did before he went through the table. He said that he decided like as he was doing it. Like, oh okay, the way I'm gonna go all the way over there is act like I went to do a move, but I'm so in the thick of the fight that I didn't realize how far the jump was. I lost my balance, and what ended up happening was beautiful. But last funny little spoiler I'll give away that they talked about was they heard Kevin Kelly, because as we remember, or as we all should remember from watching the match and rewatching it like most decent human beings have done,
that we did.
Kevin Kelly says, we lost transmission because like Don Callis' headset went off. Kenny and Jericho thought in the moment, oh my God, like we improv this so hard
that they actually messed something up.
We just cut off who knows how many subscribers to New Japan. No, they thought they cut the transmission. Yeah, because that's the way Kevin Kelly said it. It's not even that he misspoke. It's just they didn't know in what
the way they translated
context,
it was
what context he meant it in.
Dude, I mean,
can you imagine, dude? Can you imagine?
I would have been heated.
I'll say this is going to make a lot of people mad.
I would be heated.
Okay, but I would too in my position.
But when I found out, I'd be like, that's sick.
Not only that, I, as a wrestling fan, would kind of think it's even cooler for everyone there because they saw this gem. Yeah. I'm not saying this should have happened. I'm glad we got to witness it, but just something I kind of had an opinion on.
No, but I see what you mean, though. Like, people there
would have been special.
That would have been something. But the table spot thing kind of made it, when they set it up, I was like, it's in a spot where it looks like it could be used for something, but it was also in a spot where it looked like it just couldn't be used for something.
No. It was the announce table that he.
Oh,
went through.
that part.
That was
I thought you
later
meant
the later thing.
I thought you meant the other table.
No,
spot.
not the one off the turnbuckle. Yeah, I'm talking about the huge springboard thing Kenny
That
did.
thing. Oh wow, that's even
where he went soaring.
more insane.
Yeah, exactly. I forgot about that second one. Yeah, man, go listen to the podcast, rewatch that match until you die. Okay, so good way, it's sort of, I guess, to segue into Ring of Honor. Man, this was a good episode of Ring of Honor TV.
And even judging it by the past, right before the end of the year, their TV was a little bland.
Now, hold on. I'm cutting you off because are you talking about literally the last couple episodes, or you mean the last, like, the TV stuff that they filmed last, like the stuff you were at?
Yeah, that stuff, and just a hair before it. It just seemed like there wasn't much going on, but I'm guessing the transition from Final Battle and all of that.
Well, and they had so many other guys on those shows and in those tapings participating in Kingdom.
Exactly. So it just seemed like it was definitely lacking to whereas now they come back and everything is hot. You know what I mean?
I'll say this much, and I'm not even meaning to critique you because you were there. You would know better than I would if it was lacking or not. But Kenny being on the shows means that it wasn't lacking. Just saying. Those end of the year shows were the only Ring of Honor shows I think this whole year that Kenny was on.
Well, the matches themselves were cool. I just think the way they were presented and chopped up on TV, that's fine. It spread
that's
it out.
Fine. Like I said, you would know. You were there. I was not.
No,
there.
Trust me, there was a lot to be. I mean, extremely.
Right. Yeah, that's all I was saying. It was a big deal to end the year.
But just more so now when you look at this episode, this one TV. It's pretty stacked, pretty good.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to definitely set the tone for the year.
Which I mean, you gotta think the first Raw after WrestleMania is generally insane. So I guess
right, and exactly that's a good way to put this because that's what they're treating this like. Even though it's technically the second TV after Final Battle, the first one was the year recap. So I kind of like to see them. It's very wrestling in general to speak something as fact when it's not. That's literally what they said in the show. They're like, "Welcome to 2018." It's like, bro, you were on 2018 television last week. But I mean, nothing wrong with that. It's just I don't know.
And especially the way they do TV, it's.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. Like I said, in this case, I commend it. I just like it. Yeah. They're like, "Hey, this is the first episode of 2018." It's like it is. It doesn't matter that it's the 8th. And again, it technically was out on the 6th. Because it's on the Saturday, not the Monday. Anyways, Dalton Castle comes out, new champ, wonderful new championship belt.
That thing is so awesome looking.
His promo was awesome as well.
Oh, that too. Yeah,
it was about being the new holder of that new title. One of the best parts was he says he's not a big fish in a small pond, but in fact a freaking megalodon swimming through the ocean. Puts over Ring of Honor, puts over himself. Really, really cool. Watch this with Megan. I'm sorry that's so getting said so much this week. Yeah. But
I think first, I guess we'll cut into that because we do this a lot. Obviously, Megan is his girlfriend.
And you mean like we should explain? Yeah, I don't know. I like mentioning like we don't.
Okay,
you guys know, Meg, so I'm chilling with Meg.
I don't know.
No, I don't know. I don't like to spend too much time on something. Yeah, Meg's my girlfriend. Joe's my brother and roommate, and Sean is Eric's roommate.
So we talk about these people that casually watch with us, some more so than others. So
okay, you know what? That's it. Megan is the name of the casual, like the every now and then watcher. That's really the only reason I mentioned her specifically because back to the point, brother. Dalton Castle said the Megalodon Ocean thing, and she asked me because she just didn't understand it. She was like, "Why would?" Oh no, I'm sorry. That's what she said. She said, "Why would he not want to be a big fish in a small pond if he's a megalodon in the ocean? Then both him and the thing that he's involved in are like big." I was like, "That's the point. He's not bigger than the company, and that's why he's the face.
Yeah.
Because he's not bigger than the company. He's not taking all that, but he is this big mythical creature, or prehistoric
the biggest
creature,
thing
dominant
inside
creature
of
inside the biggest thing."
Yeah,
exactly. So really, really dope writing, and I only mentioned Meg again because I just wanted to bring an outside perspective of an outside perspective example that shows that this writing was effective. So
and him in general, he's with words, he's a genius.
Yeah, he's a very good. He's good all around. He will be in WWE.
Absolutely.
Jay Lethal comes out, interrupts him. Castle says he's confused, doesn't know why he's out here. I am with him, not in a bad way or anything. Happy to see Jay Lethal, but just although this went where you could only assume it was going, I just didn't know if I don't know. Coming out of the match where Lethal was more heelish with Marty, I didn't know if they were really going to do something like that already. So, anyways,
it felt like Dalton played it more so as why would Jay Lethal ever be out here for little me type deal.
No, right. I told that's what I'm. If
but
anything,
I
that's
also
what I'm trying
agree
to clarify
with you
is that
on that too.
It wasn't a why. Like, what are you doing here? It just there was no given reason, and I guess more of a curious why is all I mean. Like, I didn't know if it was the start of a feud, which it very well could be. But anyways, really high points on both guys' parts, and on the part of Jay Lethal saying, being champion in Ring of Honor makes him the best wrestler in the world. And then that he wants a shot. I thought that was cool. Again, just good way to put the company over. And they have enough steam from last year coming to this new one that it sounds more believable than it ever has before. So that's good. Dalton Castle has a seat on one of the boys and then invites Jay Lethal to do the same on the other boy. It's fucking amazing.
Dude, so
it's
good.
Fucking amazing. And he was literally like, nah, it's cool. Just sit down. He says he wants to discuss it like grown-ass men. Lethal wipes off the back of the boy and then hesitantly sits down only to get up right after.
His uncomfortability with it was just it's perfect.
Yeah, it's very niche for today's audience. It wasn't offensively uncomfortable, but at the same time, it was just very humorous and also realistic and believable. It was good.
Yeah, because not everyone wants to sit on a
boy
man.
wearing a peacock type mask.
Yeah.
No, not everyone is a good way to put it. Let's see. That was funny. It's funny.
Funny.
Jay Lethal says he wants to be the top of the list of the title challengers. Castle says, sure. And I really, really liked when he raised the belt and said, this one is for the boys. This fucking guy. Seemed like he's great, dude. Seemed like the segment was over, but then Punishment Martinez comes out and hits this huge choke slam and then raises the belt. So a couple different seeds. You got an apple tree, you got an orange tree. Which way are we gonna go with it?
I don't know.
Maybe both roads.
Yeah.
I think both are a good call. I think Jay Lethal's a good. That will it could prove Castle further, and also if he beats him, I mean, I'm not gonna be mad. I assume Castle will win it back, but that's fine with me. Jay Lethal is that new champion. But
I'm just
more specifically, I've been saying for months, Punishment Martinez is gonna be a champion in Ring of Honor. So
maybe I don't know.
Wouldn't be surprised.
It definitely wouldn't surprise me. I would lean more towards the Lethal route, at least right now. But who knows?
I think neither is beating him, for the record. But
I'm not saying any of them are beating him, but more so I would lean and would be a little bit more attentive on a Castle Lethal situation than a Punishment Castle situation.
Well, yeah, in terms of who I like more, absolutely. Yeah. But I like Punishment Martinez. I don't dislike Baron Corbin. It's fine, and also he has a better moveset, so slightly more. But it's a good way to explain like my feelings overall on him. Basically, in a way, I'm rooting for the guy, even if I don't like him. You know what I mean? I wanted to see him do well. And anyways, the chokeslam was awesome.
It was definitely a good situation, and even like with the boys kind of just sitting there not doing anything, especially with the crowd popping and wanting them to do something. I like their non-interaction sometimes.
Yeah, it makes it more. It keeps it special for when they are in the ring and stuff. Like J&J Security, when they were with Seth, they got to a point where they got their asses kicked so much it was it wasn't funny and more expected. I don't know why I just threw that back. I don't know. It was the first.
It's a good and more so.
Yeah, it's a similar kind of thing. I'm just saying I don't know what made me think.
I think it's the latest situation like that we've had too.
Yeah, at least in WWE. In WWE, yeah. Anyways, back in Ring of Honor, we come back from commercial, or maybe it's just straight from that segment. I don't really remember. But the Kingdom gave a promo, continuous this Kingdom conspiracy stuff. They still want their tag title shot as well as their 6-man tag title shot.
Yeah.
Good and brief. Nothing wrong with it. I actually really like that Matt Taven capped this one off with, because I'm Matt Taven and this is my kingdom. Or this is... Or something like that. This is the kingdom.
It's something like that.
That doesn't sound right.
Yeah, no, I believe he said this is my kingdom. Something.
Yeah, I just don't think I've heard him say that before. And as I've acknowledged before, either on or off the show, I can't remember. It was Adam Cole's stable first, so I don't know. That's a good way, and I think that should be said more because it's a different kingdom nowadays. It's purple and white and conspiracy and all that. It's different.
And he's killing it.
Who? Yeah, you like Matt Taven a lot.
Yeah, I really do like Taven, and
me too. No problem.
And I don't mind.
With him.
I don't mind them as a whole either. it just
Right.
he shines for me.
Yeah, he's great. He's definitely great. But I did like more than anything that this was brief.
Yeah.
It made me not feel like exhausted by this whatsoever. Okay, so we get to our first match of the night. Simon Grimm versus Silas Young, who's accompanied by Beer City Bruiser, and it's for the TV championship. I will not lie, because I was watching this in the morning whenever I watched it earlier this week, and like eating breakfast and stuff, and really focusing on my notes. I actually just somehow missed the announcement that this is for the TV championship until after the match was over.
Yeah, I thought I heard it in the beginning, and then midway I was like, "Is this for it?" And then I had to recheck at the end.
I heard it. I acknowledged it when they announced Stool. I was like, "Oh shit, that was for the title." I just, anyways, I really liked Simon's entrance mask. Very V for Vendetta-esque, but doesn't feel played out at the same time, which you would assume something like that would be. I think the mustache is kind of what helps. The fact that he has a mustache like that, you know what I mean? It kind
it's
of
like
makes,
kind of like a his style.
Yeah, it makes it more specific to him.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, one of our only downers on this whole show, and really with the company, not blaming anybody, but just sucked for the viewer. No new TV title.
Yeah.
Around the waist of my man. I was like, God damn it.
I thought that when they showed... Well, no. It was a little later. Either way, when they showed it, I got a point where I was like, why? It's a new year.
I think they just literally did. They weren't ready yet, which is fine. I'm just being a bummer. I'm treating it like a bummer because that means this series of TV tapings doesn't have any of the new other titles. And I just feel like...
Or at least you wouldn't expect them to.
Yeah, I don't see how they would. I think that'd be strange.
Wouldn't make sense.
But anyways, yeah, it's whatever. If anything, it's more anticipation, but I'm just such a big fan of those new championships that I want to see them on TV. So, anyways, Silas comes out. Let's skip through some of this match or move-specific stuff, or skim over it, I should say. Wrist lock back and forth stuff in the beginning was really good. Silas did a bridge out of one of the pins, and I was like, oh, man, that was really impressive for him. He doesn't look like somebody who's in that kind of shape, and he was so like smooth and clean. So I like that.
I think certain people bring that out of him.
Well, I was going to say Simon Grimm is super mat-based, so I literally, as you said that, I'm getting the part of my notes where I said this maybe explained why this was such a seemingly different kind of match for Silas. But either way, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Similar thing we're going to get to later, but same thing with the main event between Marty and Flip. Brought just kind of different stuff out of people. But anyways, Grimm goes for powerbomb from the lift-up thing that, Roman Reigns tries to do every now and then and can't. And it actually got... And obviously, if you were watching, Silas pulled himself up on this guy's head, but nonetheless... he got him all the way up, and then it got reversed into a Hurricane Rana by Silas, which was cool.
Another not so characters,
Yeah, definitely not something you see him do often. He won with his finish, the Misery Loves Company. It's a fireman's carry neckbreaker. Awesome move.
Yeah.
Kenny King comes out after the match, calls Silas Young pile of dung. Thought that was pretty funny.
He almost goes Cena on him and hits him with a rap.
He does almost rap at him. I mean, pile of dung is definitely Cena-esque. He's holding a beer. Obviously, we're going to get to why, and it made sense like 2 seconds after I wrote it, but I didn't want to skip the fact that I wrote at the time when I was watching it, I was like, why is Kenny King holding a fucking beer right now? But then, obviously, I was just being dumb. At Final Battle, that's how Silas eliminated him in the 4-way, so he was kind of just like, as like a prop, bringing it back around, and then wound up mentioning in the promo that he was fucking 8 beers deep and is in the mood to fight, just like all these Philadelphians or however
something of the sort.
Filayans.
Yes, the filet mignons.
Yes, the Phillians. But anyways, yeah, it was a pretty
Go
cool,
Birds.
Pretty good. No, go Birds. Nah, never though. Never. Anybody but the Eagles. So Kenny cuts a promo about the beer. Silas cuts a promo back saying it's not about the means but the results in this business. I like that a lot. It's simple, but I liked it. And anyways, Kenny King wants to fight Silas and Bruiser. He spits the beer in Silas's face. I was trying to remember what he did with the bottle because I knew he did something. Spits the beer in Silas's face, and Ian Riccaboni, actually right on cue to your reference, says Motown Philly back again. Right when he did that.
I got so excited when he did that.
I literally wrote, I'm dying right now. What the fuck? Some some recap videos of the tag war between Tommy Dreamer, Bully Ray, and the Briscoes. Lots of preview videos and commercials throughout this show about Ring of Honor streaming service coming out this upcoming year, this year. It's going to be called Honor Club. Don't know how I feel about that. Doesn't really matter.
Either way,
I'm
just
glad
give
it
me
exists.
the service.
They could call it Dick Club, and I'd be happy to join.
Why does your credit card statement say you have a subscription to Dick Club?
Oh, that's my wrestling streaming service.
It's like
that actually makes it sound worse.
It's like perfect 10, like it's like a bowling.
But yeah, Honor Club, that's going to be the name, and that's pretty cool. Recap video of the Women of Honor Championship at Final Battle. For a second here, I'm like, oh yeah, the Women of Honor Championship thing is going to be great. But just all the recaps, I'm like, God, man.
And it's stuff that like hasn't happened, and it just there's too much for something that it just keeps happening, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, they were trying to squeeze a lot in. Like I said, I mentioned it one time here, but I mentioned it about the third or fourth time I saw this Honor Club video. And again, I'm not saying they shouldn't be doing that. Yeah. I'm just noticing it. Anyways, Briscoes are coming down to the ring. Finally, something's happening here. Opponents are already in the ring. Had to rewind it to make sure I wrote the names down. I do remember Ryan Nova.
Yeah.
Eli Isom or Isom, however you say it, is the guy you've mentioned before. I definitely know Ryan Nova. I've seen him get beat
Oddly
by Cody.
enough, they were both guys that I was like, oh, those guys. Now I know why you were...
totally. Just I specifically Eli, I kept not
I guess I
down.
equate them to like a New Japan watching the Young Lions.
Yeah, or like old Blue Pants in NXT.
Yeah,
Man, I love old Blue Pants.
I'm not, I'm not trying to downgrade their career or anything, but that's kind of what I see,
they're there to get squat. They're jobbers for sure. So, anyways, I literally wrote, we all know who's winning this one. Heavy focus on the final battle. And 5
seconds later, they
stuff.
show you that.
I thought it was going to be some reason heavily focused on the final battle stuff, but I think they were just kind of verbally prove that they capped off that feud. They beat the older guys, and they waste no time in this being really. Yeah, no, totally. I just speculating as I'm watching, and I realized, like I said, by the end, like, oh, okay, they're moving on here. Lots of lariats, bigger strikes. Match ended quick. The froggy bow, which I love that move. I've always envisioned
for them. It works.
A move,
I like it,
a move for myself that was similar, a frog splash type elbow, but not at all the way he does it. He does. I mean, there's a good reason they call it the froggy bow. That's what it looks like.
Yep.
It's cool though. Anyways, I think it's great for them. Yeah, no, I've always thought of it as more of like, I don't know, just literally like two moves in one, where he kind of makes it like a swinging elbow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. A pump elbow.
I'm imagining more of a very majestic like mixture of Rob Van Dam and Macho Man.
Yeah,
but in
or
an
like a
elbow
frog.
form.
Just think of like a frog with a really ripped elbow. Anyway.
Yeah, no, imagine a frog jumping and dropping an elbow on another frog, and that's the move.
That's what I'm talking. No, I literally used to think that, and then when I saw him do that move for the first time, I was crushed. I was like, wow. And I think actually Zack Ryder used to do that too when he first came to WWE. He kind of did it more the way that I always, the way I thought about it, like as a kid and stuff. It doesn't matter. Anyways, Jay cuts a promo in the ring about how they ended Bully's career, and they want all that I was trying to hint at, that they want to move on and focus on the tag titles. No one's on their level. Challenge the Motor City Machine Guns directly, and then we cut to commercial. Apparently going to be hearing from the Hung Bucks when we get back. But coolly enough, that's not a word, but cooler than what they told us. I was just trying to say, awesomely enough, which still isn't a great use of words, but at least makes my point clear. When we get back, it's not the Hung Bucks, but in fact, Silas all like huffing and puffing and hair way longer than I had ever noticed.
Yeah. This is when I think I noticed the title thing, and I was like, huh.
Yeah.
Because he had it on.
But really cool. Him and Beer City Bruiser backstage, upset about how Kenny disrespected him. Bruiser says he wants gold of his own and wants tag gold. And Silas is like, oh, but buddy. And he's like, it's cool. I have a partner in mind. Yeah, he's like, it's fine. I have a partner in mind. Silas says, I'm not selfish. He's always done right by him, so go get the gold. And I just like that. I like the established alignment and approval because Silas is the leader in that case. And obviously they're going to be welcoming someone else into their little...
Yeah. It's cool because it's a very un-WWE thing to do, whereas normally this would be the point where you assume a tag team is going to break up or a group is going to break up because they want to do something else, whereas it's the exact opposite and it's accepted.
Yeah.
And I think that's cool because you don't get that often.
And as I was trying to initially say in the whole first place, it made it seem like such an organic thing, even though it clearly wasn't by the way they walked away and the camera went down. that they said we're gonna hear from Hung Bucks when we get back, and then we didn't because these guys are reacting in front of the camera.
It's
to
more
what
of like
just
a
happened.
live situation.
Very wrestling, just so wrestling specific. It kind of shows the soap opera-ness and also the, I don't know, it's supposed to like, I guess, backstage sport feel to it. I like that. So we do. Or sorry, that was before the commercial. That's what I thought was strange about it. My bad. We were going to commercial, and the commentary like took us to commercial. And, like, when we get back, we're gonna hear from Hung Bucks, but then we went to that little scene. So like I said, even more to my point, felt like a backstage thing.
Yeah.
Kind of the way we talked about Kurt and Alexa on that one Raw.
Yeah, exactly. It made you feel a little more
That's all I'm
inside.
trying to say. So anyways, we come back from the commercial, and like they said, it's the Hung Bucks. I had actually seen this video online, not realizing it was from TV, but watched it again because I liked it in the place of the show more. Cool little, very Being the Elite style video, them in like a dressing room or something, pissed about how the SoCal Uncensored guys, which is the alignment of Scorpio and the Addiction.
Yeah.
In Matt's words, China low blowed them at Final Battle. Oh my God, this guy is the best.
They
anyways,
just know how to do it.
Hangman says they'll get a shot at the titles right over the head until they bust their brains out. Super into that. Super duper into Hangman Page. But for real, I fucking.
This is gonna be his year. I mean, he had a huge year last year. I think he's gonna.
Dare I say we are looking at a Triple H caliber.
Oh yes, being. Absolutely.
That's what I've always seen when like with just looking at that guy and his diverse style, and I'm not putting Triple H over as much as I'm putting over the potential and the awesomely has to be bright future for Hangman.
I mean,
Page. And definitely in WWE. He will be in the WWE.
It's like watching a guy that has a body situation and obviously a little bit of physical similarities as Triple H, but with like the moveset of like AJ Styles-ish type guy. You know what I mean? He does a lot more.
But still a really like strong guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I've seen
that's
this
what
guy
I'm saying.
wrestle.
He has all of it.
When he wrestled Kazarian last year in that match with the belt and shit, that was in front of us, and dude, he just looks like it. I don't know, like just a tough guy. I'm more so drawing the parallel to Triple H that maybe while DX was initially happening, you didn't know that guy was going to go on to be what he is now, but you knew he was like going to be something. And that's what I get about Hangman Page.
I just didn't.
He may not be the Shawn Michaels of the group
Yeah.
right now, but he's going to be a world champion one day.
He's so much more well-rounded than just a, bigger
background player.
guy.
Yeah, he's not
you know what I mean?
Well, that's why I think they went out of their way on Being Elite this past year to find a way to put him over with between.
I think that was
jokes.
a lot. I think that was one of their main goals for the whole year was put him.
Yeah, they said that. I've heard them say that in interviews. So, anyways, just moving on from the Being Elite stuff. Just thought that was great, and I really love Hangman Page. Want to see more from him in this new year. So we're at the main event already, and at the time I was like, man, that was quick, but it's because this match was fucking long. I can't even give you all my notes.
Yeah.
Marty and Flip, they had a match. They had a fucking match. It felt like a real TV main event, but not the ones I've been accustomed to for the past. I don't even know how many years now. This felt like a match. Flip came in first. Forgot he even flips in his fucking entrance to take his pants off. It's fucking crazy.
The man loves to flip.
There's a promo at the top right of the screen when Marty's making his entrance.
I thought that was super cool.
It was very cool. I literally turned to burp away from the microphone, and I was like, well, whatever. Anyways.
I think you've successfully have burped in every
I drink
episode.
seltzer every episode, so that makes sense.
It's like Willy Wonka.
Marty says in the promo
bitch.
he was proud of... What'd you just say, motherfucker?
Said it's like Willy Wonka in this bitch.
Oh, yeah, the fizzy lifting drink.
Yeah, the fizzy lifting drink. That's what you're doing.
Seltzer.
Yeah.
Marty says he's proud of Jay Lethal's performance and the win over him at Final Battle, believing it was that gave Lethal the confidence to confront Castle earlier tonight and get himself a title shot. Quickly interrupting Marty's promo because I really like that. Like obviously this wasn't filmed. You know what I mean? Like that promo wasn't filmed the same night, but I like the production and presentation style. It shows like Ring of Honor reaching a little bit more than maybe they had before. Felt a little bit more big time.
Yeah.
As far as
I wanted to do it. It was extremely hard in my being to not do that.
Boy, that's big time.
Yeah, not saying not doing it, but I can't because so far I've had like Sunny reference, super bad reference. I can't.
I know. We're just full of pop
yeah,
culture this episode.
This time I'm
big
just, that's
time.
all I
But
do.
anyways, it doesn't matter. I just really like that Marty. Marty like drew a parallel back to the beginning of this television episode.
Yeah.
That was very cool. Anyways, going back to his promo, he says if it's that easy to get a shot, he wants his shot at the big gold belt, as he called it, which I was like,
oh
this
boy,
guy
would
is
I,
thinking.
yeah, boy would I lose
because
my
he
mind.
made a point to aggressively say he's had 0 opportunities. Really good like way to establish that.
that he hasn't been in that kind of picture.
And he is a world champion in his own right.
Yeah.
You know, every other goddamn
let's
promotion he gets involved in,
yeah.
they give him a belt.
Yeah, and let's be real. Him, Castle,
Woo, boy.
oh man, I
Well, this crowd is
take off my
alive
pants
for
and
Marty.
jacket for that one.
That's, oh my god. This
Yeah.
fucking guy. I think we're gonna get sued. Can you get sued from just saying stuff? I don't even know.
I don't know.
Let's get a literal script and just start reading it.
Okay.
Something people like.
Dude, we can't even. We can barely record things on the fly. We can't write a script.
That's true. You'd be like halfway through and be like, what is this third word? What is this third word I'm supposed to be saying? Anyways, the crowd loves Marty. I was just going to say
Absolutely.
he's become one of those guys that it's easy to love him, I guess, but I don't mean it just that simply. Like, he's easy to chant things for, and between the chicken wing, the woot woot.
Yeah. He's very easy for the new age. I don't want to say new age because that just sounds so like.
Because that minimalizes the effect is more dramatic than that. It's
Yeah.
not as simple as he plays to the new crowd. He's the future. That's really all I'm trying to say. Tempted headlock and wrist lock stuff in the beginning, going back and forth. Really, really cool. Then Marty uses the ropes to flip around and get out of the wrist lock. Thought that was really, really cool. Yes, Flip did hit his handspring, kip up, avoiding spot thing. But this time it ended with a big boot by Flip, and I don't think he's done that before. So I already 2 noticeable differences. This was actually one of my most impressed. Like one of the flips that most impressed me. Flip got Marty to the outside and was about to dive, and he balanced on one foot on the top rope, like mid springboard, stopped himself while still standing, and then did a backflip and landed on his feet in the ring. It was fucking crazy.
Like I probably like put a normal person in the ring near those ropes, and they're gonna barely be able to walk through the thing.
That was like some literal like tightrope shit. It was cool.
Yeah.
I think that took us to commercial too. There was some corner and ring post stuff. At one point, Flip ran up, or ran out of the ring, around the post and back in, and Marty chased him. It felt very Tom and Jerry-esque, and he managed to like pull this off without being cheesy, especially because it culminated with Marty hitting this awesome snap. Like, they're literally like going back and forth trying to get each other in the corner and stuff like that, and they can't. Then he chases him around, and when they come in, Marty hits a snap suplex into the corner on Flip, and because Flip does all the things he does, he kind of is like stiff against the turnbuckle, so looked really good. Another big highlight that I saw on the internet and didn't realize was from this television, but oh man, wasn't mad that I saw it twice, or really the amount of times that I did, which is well past twice, because I watched it over and over again on Twitter. Marty threatens to hit Todd Sinclair, and then puts his hands up like he's not going to do anything, which is one of my favorite parts. After he tells him, hey, watch it, I'm going to hit you, then he puts his hands up right away, and he's like, I'm not doing anything. Then he shoves him, and then Todd shoves Marty down to his ass. At this point in the match, I had to write down, wow, this is so entertaining. Like, there's been a couple things in this match now that I've loved.
Yeah, you got, and more so, you got like extremely excited for, because you're like, oh wow, like,
yeah,
you don't normally get this. You got a couple I don't normally see this moments in one match.
Especially the Todd, the Todd Sinclair and Marty moment. That felt very like, wow, this could have been done at a pay-per-view. Like, I don't know, it was awesome.
Yeah.
One of the best spots in terms of stuff Flip normally does, and not getting sick of it, but just like, oh, here we go. So when he went to do the jump over, land on his hands and like handstand thing, but Marty fucking super kicked his head in.
Just let him have it. He's gotten so good at throwing those, and Flip too, and selling has just.
Well, I've always been a big fan, in particular, of how Marty does the low super kick, like almost only,
like the side, like kind of like floppy leg looking thing.
I hate to keep drawing back this kind of parallel, but just honestly, and it's weirdly all in the same wrestler. That's another thing I'd always thought, like, oh man, because I love the super kick, but just truth be told, I'm not.
It's a more
Shawn
casual
Michaels.
super kick.
And it's just, I think it fit. Like he's 5'9", you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it fits the guy. I know the Bucks aren't like Matt Jackson's not much taller, but it's just different. Like
Yeah.
they reach the leg up and all that. Marty, I like that he does it differently.
They're clearly
specifically
like
because he's-
a lot more acrobatic and I don't
and just
even know
having
what
filled the
words-
role
yeah.
of Adam Cole, who did an actual super kick. I don't know. It's just like a cool variation on the a shared move in the stable, if you will. So really great super kick into the handstand thing. Made a quick side stop note, if you will, on how black on black is probably the only exception in terms of two guys wearing the same color and maybe even sharing the color with the mat.
Yeah.
Just because black is so basic and also just looks cool, a la The Rock, Stone Cold,
I'll
and
allow
whatever other. Whatever I meant, a la, like in reference.
Yeah,
to,
no,
like,
but then
yeah,
and then I
yeah,
said
okay.
I'll allow it.
Oh, okay, good. But yeah, no, I just black on black looks good. So I just want to say that in anybody who is listening and want to be critical, fuck you. Let's see, black on black is good. Flip hit a cool 619 type move around the outside of the ring post while Marty's laying over the second rope. They make a point to mention it around here or near shortly after this that Flip was a college mascot.
Yeah, it was a weird little segment, but also I was like, oh, well, I mean,
That
I'm
makes
okay. I'm
sense.
okay with that extra information, but yeah, even more like, yeah, that definitely makes sense.
That's what he was doing all those. I wonder what he was.
It wasn't like
I wonder
a.
what animal or creature.
I thought it was like a cardinal or something like that, right?
Oh, that's what they said. Yeah. I didn't write that part down, but you're right. That's absolutely what they said. He
I
was
don't know what
flipping-
Cardinals in Montana or he's Montana, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a
I hardly
thing.
remembered the bird. I definitely don't remember the
I'm pretty
place.
sure it was a cardinal, but I'm just saying. I didn't know if those
You
were
know what? Let's just
native.
spend the rest of the episode.
Yeah,
talking
we're gonna
about
do some information. We're gonna look up Flip Gordon's entire.
Let's just
backstory.
talk about Cardinals. What's good with Cardinals? Come back from the commercial, and Flip is going for a springboard to the outside, and Marty just shoves him to the floor in the barricade again. Something that was just like you don't really see that in matches, and you see most like dives and springboards to the outside in most matches nowadays. So thought that was a cool counter, and then then right after that he hit a super kick from the apron, and then even finished like the series of moves off with a diving like clothesline, lariat, whatever you want to call it. Really good look for Marty. He just looked strong here in that quick like 20 seconds.
Well, in
he
the
was great this
matchup,
whole fucking match.
he should be the stronger of the. You know what I mean? Like, if I put them two in a match, I would be way more apt to seeing him as the stronger, more dominant character.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I just was I don't know. This was not your normal TV.
Oh, yeah,
match. I
exactly.
personally felt
That's what
these
made
guys
it
were
good.
killing it. And we're almost at the end here. Marty starts to call for the chicken wing. Flip goes for a kick, reverse. Flip goes for a kick, reverse. Super kick from Marty. Super kick from Flip. Then a huge lariat from Marty. And he caps it off with that brain buster. I think he calls it the ghost buster.
Yeah, it's Ghostbuster, I believe.
Like the thing to the knee. And it was a near fall. So slight putting over a Flip right there. Then Flip does a very Rollins-esque series of dives. You know, the whole like suicide dive followed by the flip. Just felt like when Rollins was facing the Shield. I mean, organically back in like 2014 or whatever before he turned. It felt just like, and I don't mean that critically. It's just like that's what it looked like, and it looked good.
Yeah,
The crowd was into it.
and it gave
he
you
actually
like his spot, and they're like, oh, and he did the flip.
Well, and he
After
actually
the
did
fact.
put, I guess, a little difference on it. He threw him back in the ring after, and then hit
Yeah.
a very, very clean 450 for a near fall of his own. Shortly after, Marty hits another Ghostbuster, and that gets him to win. Again, felt special and cool. Feels like they're
Yep.
maybe trying to give him more of an established aggressive finish rather than always the chicken wing or.
Which is
You
cool.
know,
I
winning
like
by
the chicken
cheating.
wing thing, but also
I love the chicken. Yeah, but no, I always
let the
always
man
have that.
dominate.
Yeah, submission move and a grappling move is always great. I made a note again. Decently lengthy match. I think I took more notes for this TV match than not just Ring of Honor, just most TV matches I watch.
Yeah,
Yeah, this match was good.
it was
man.
pretty
different for Flip.
extraordinary match for the both of them too. Like they put on.
And bottom line from the promotion of the show and the promo before the production of the show, I should say, and the promo before the match by Marty specifically, and then the performance in this match, I can't wait to see Marty go for the world title. Oh my god,
I'd love
it's
it.
gonna be fucking amazing. So that was Ring of Honor, and especially after being able to rate it and then kind of look back on the week of WWE television, I have to say Raw and SmackDown were each in their 6 or 7 range realistically, and this show was more of an actual 8 because it wasn't 9 or 10. It had the recap stuff in the middle. No, not all the new titles. Not a perfect show by any means, but the ending, oh man,
you're just taking effect of how everything went and everything progressed. You had there was nothing. There was no
set with the world title challengers.
There was no real like squashiness, even though the Briscoe match was that, but it was for a reason.
Yeah, to have them go to the Motor City Machine. Yeah, absolutely. This was a progressive piece of television,
and rightfully so for them. That's a big year for them. I think they're really going to try to step up the whole shebang this year, especially with everything that's going on with
as
everything.
As they should.
And with a streaming service, you
gotta keep making way more money.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do a quick pit stop because NXT is actually really good. We'll get to some of these stories and different things that we've heard about, and then we'll get to NXT, and then we'll finish off with some stories and different things we heard about. I feel like because it's relative to what we were just talking about.
I'll just narrate my favorite movies at the end, so that's what we'll do.
Yeah,
at the
so
end.
If anybody wants to tune out for the last 45 minutes of this 4-hour
45 minutes, buddy, you better double it.
90 minutes
of just me.
What was I going to... Oh, in somewhat relation to what you were just saying, so Cody Rhodes and the Bucks self-funded, self-promoted, just self-everything.
Everything.
Show has a date and a name, and a location will be announced in a future episode of Being the Elite. That's smart marketing. It's actually a new episode of Being the Elite up today I have to watch.
Yep, need to watch that.
But anyways, this show is going to be called All In.
Brilliant.
It's taking place September 1st. Yeah, I'm into the name. It brought about a cool, pretty basic idea for the promotion of the event in that all the wrestlers that have been announced, and I'm sure that will continue to get announced, had some kind of picture of themselves.
All
not
the
only
media.
The title of... Yeah, something that says...
And then all the fans...
September 1st, I'm all in, or... What'd you say?
I said, yeah, like all that, and then all the fans got a hold of that, and they went absolutely
Yeah, the fan-made
apeshit.
ones are really funny, and it's just a smart, very modern thing to be doing.
I mean,
I don't think it's ever been done.
The thing already has like 20, like almost 30-something thousand followers within,
Yeah,
you know
so
what I
this
mean?
show's gonna be
They know what they're
great.
doing.
As we talked about before the show, and I'm sure many other actual wrestling fans have been or have made a point to notice, Daniel Bryan's contract is up with WWE in September.
And there's been
Buddy.
interactions between some people, and if you notice, that's exactly how Jericho Kenny started, so who knows?
Yeah. Interactions in exactly how Kenny Jericho started. He's referencing Twitter specifically.
Yeah.
I feel like you left out the...
Yeah, I guess I left out the meat, but like just like
Made
you
it sound
said,
like a riddle.
But just like you said, if you're fans,
No, yeah, right. If you're watching,
you
I'm
know
just-
this
I'm
is
clarifying,
like
that's all.
if like everyone has seen, it started with Brian talking trash to Cody, I believe, about the title
back
reign.
when he first won the belt, he said, "You better not beat my reign," and then he said something along the lines of,
If you do,
we'll have to have a match for it, and then somehow further down the line on Twitter, it got mentioned by Cody to Bryant, like, maybe you could wrestle at our 10,000 seater or something like shit like that. We're summing it up, but anyways, this is all going to culminate to something great, no matter what it's really going to truly be. And here's to hoping it's in New York. It's not going to be, but here's to hoping it is.
I don't know. I have a feeling.
It's going to be, I think, Chicago.
I think Chicago too, and.
Pro Wrestling Tees is there.
Yeah, and I thought of it because me and Sean were talking about it. It's very centralized. East Coast can get to it easily. West Coast can get to it easily. Canada can get to it
easily, but I know what you mean.
But you know, like
I know what you mean.
It's easier than California having to go to New York or New York.
I think one of
the
the biggest points to make is the Pro Wrestling Tees thing, just because they can pay for a lot of what they're doing.
Yep.
Or make money back or whatever. Like they can have them sponsor it, and I don't know, just whatever. They're obviously on it, and they're gonna give us something great. But that was one of the first big announcements
highly
we heard.
considering making the trek.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll have to see. Ring of Honor prices alone doubled.
Yeah.
Or tripled or whatever last year once.
Yeah, that's one of those.
The worlds happened.
It's one of those ones that I don't think I can. Or it'd be hard to pass up on a possibility of
Oh yeah,
seeing
no,
something
no,
like that.
not willingly pass up. We'll just see. That's like basically my opinion on the Jericho cruise. It's like everything I
True,
want.
yep.
It falls on my birthday, but in the end, I'm trying to marry my girlfriend, and I don't know that spending
The Jericho
a bunch
Cruise
of
thing
money
for me is actually just too out of the range of
I mean,
my
it's not until this
capabilities.
upcoming fall though. It's after
Yeah.
this. It probably be in the similar price range of this all-in trip for you.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah,
Just between travel and money and I mean, and food and
yeah, that's true.
whatever. Anyways,
Either way.
all ins and outs. Hopefully, we can go. We probably won't. We definitely will watch. So will
Absolutely.
you.
That's
You
what we were
will.
thinking too. Is like, who's going to put this on? Is it going to be a pay-per-view situation? Is it
No,
gonna
it's gonna be pay per view. It's gonna be fight, but it's not going to be Ring of Honor's like specific. It's these guys.
If anything,
putting
it's going
on
to
a
be
show.
brought to you in part
Maybe
by
some YouTube type shit.
Yeah.
You
I
know what I
figured
mean?
since
Maybe-
everyone being involved, but I also was pointing out too this is basically kind of just like an indie promotion doing their thing. So literally,
No, it's more special than that. It's not.
Well,
and
no,
again,
no,
it's not-
I don't mean it like that. I just mean it, and as they can go get whoever they want that is capable of being got.
Yeah, no, on the show you're right, but I'm not even meaning to disagree with you, but just to elaborate on something you're kind of bringing to attention. Yeah, from what I know, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think this has been done before.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now, it's never successfully been pitched, at least to a fan. Because if you told me even a year or so ago, Cody Rhodes is gonna be world champion, and or maybe 2 years ago, is a better time frame.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes is gonna be world champion on the Indies, and he's gonna team up with that great tag team, and they're gonna make so much money, they're gonna run their own show. I love those guys even then, but I would probably even say to you then. Or
You're
make a better
crazy.
example before the internet jumps on me. Not only you're crazy, but if who's someone I've always loved. Eddie Guerrero. If you told me Eddie Guerrero is going to be world champion from 2 years before that he was, and then on top of that he's going to go run his own show where he wrestles in the main event and he pays for everything, I would go, man, that sounds like not that good of an idea.
Yeah.
These guys have such like specific clout and likability in a specific time, like right now that we're living in, that this just doesn't sound corny or cheesy. It sounds almost like called for. Like they should be doing this. So just kudos to those guys and everything that they have going on, and hopefully it just continues.
It's
come
gonna
September
be
1st.
insane.
Yes, come September
Something's
1st, it's got to be
happening.
even
Something
bigger than it is
crazy
right now.
going down.
Man, what else was I going to say? I feel something I want to speculate on the Being the Elite series. They're introducing this Being the Elite is drug-free thing with Cody clearly drinking in the background, and then I saw a screenshot of something from the new episode involved Cody smoking a cigar. Obviously, that's not a drug, but my point is, I think this could be a long-term build to Cody not being as directly involved, especially with the possible confrontational stuff between him and Kenny.
Yeah.
I think that I just thought, I don't know, just something I wanted
Do you
to
think it's just
speculate
them
on.
being entirely way too smart for their own good kind of situation?
But they are. They did it.
You know,
they did
you
it
know
with,
what I mean.
They
Yeah.
did it with Paige.
Yeah.
They plan these things like
Yeah.
6 months ahead of time.
Yeah, that's what I'm
So-
saying though. Like they're just too good at this to where.
Yeah, I don't know. Just something to and if it
Yeah.
doesn't happen, cool. I just think it kind of makes sense in the way that Cody's quote unquote on board with everybody, but he's still drinking when they're all sitting there being like, yeah, we're drug free. He's like, yeah, and he puts a beer under the table.
Yeah.
It just could be like a route for one of their like goofy things, maybe even just to tease Cody getting kicked out.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Exactly.
don't
Make
know.
you think something's happening. In reality, nothing's happening.
Really, just
And
wanted
or
to say
vice
in
versa,
case it
who knows?
happens. I don't want to say after it happens like I knew it was going to happen because it's going to sound outrageous. So, yeah, I don't know, just an idea. But moving on from that and kind of in between the two, before we get to NXT, big news on the internet confirmed: Hanson and Ricochet giving farewell speeches. At their local indie and hometown indie promotions. Ricochet with a post of the outside of the VFW hall, clearly housed this promotion, and a little home emoji, and I don't know, feels very
Yep.
feels very telling, obviously. And War Machine is cut out for NXT, WWE. Ricochet, in my opinion, will absolutely do well.
Yeah. You don't think that these guys are capable of the pass?
What do you mean?
Like passing?
That they're going to get passed up?
No, that they're going to pass.
Oh, just go to the main event.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because I feel like both are
that's
very.
possible, especially with the Rumble coming. It's
Yeah.
possible.
I don't think they will. I just feel like these guys are guys that
Hey, it's
can.
about supply and demand too. If you know what, logically speaking, yeah, they any tag team they're picking up should be pushed to Raw.
Yeah.
Because SmackDown's got tag teams, NXT's got tag teams.
Well, just because I noticed, and I'm watching the speculation on the internet that everyone goes to the Performance Center, but Styles didn't, the club didn't. There's a very select few who didn't, and go down to NXT, and I feel like these guys have that kind of clout.
Yeah, no, I also don't know if it's a total clout thing because Shinsuke didn't, and he's the man.
Well, yeah, exactly, but also
or Shinsuke did, and he's the man. I meant
these are people that they had to build characters for, because even Finn, because AJ Styles
but I
didn't
feel
need
like
to
then
build
that's probably
AJ
the
Styles
same.
because he was just AJ Styles.
But then the same rule probably applies to War Machine. I don't know.
true.
Basically, if anything, I'm just trying to say it's never that simple. I think it's literally different.
There's
for
so
everyone.
much more to it.
But I would love it. Yeah, specifically War Machine. I think should come right to Monday Night Raw. No reason not to.
Yeah.
I figured that was a good way to segue into NXT. Any other indie guys that I heard were coming? It was Ricochet, War Machine. I don't know. If anyone else, I guess.
I think the only thing else I heard like a bunch of like Impact guys are like leaving and possible. But,
oh yeah. No, thank you. I don't know. I don't think that's NXT, but yeah, I heard Bobby Lashley and who's the other guy that they were trying? Oh, EC3. They're trying to get EC3 at WWE. Well, EC3 probably should have been WWE a couple years ago. I think that probably would have been one of the better times.
I think that time might have been.
Who knows? I don't want to say it's past, but definitely I would have thought it would have happened a year, 2 years ago. Anyways, on to NXT because that's what I was trying to segue to. Wow, good,
great
episode of television. As well, like I'd say outdid Ring of Honor a little bit, but definitely like leveled up in the way that these two 1-hour shows. These two 1-hour shows beat the shit out of the 5-hour show or the 2-hour and 3-hour show combined, making the 5-hour.
Well, I think this is the year for those shows, to be honest. I think they know, and they're going along with their plans. NXT and Ring of Honor, obviously being in different wavelengths, but NXT proving themselves to be their own show, their own thing, not just a minor league situation. And Ring of Honor as well, putting themselves on as being, the biggest, indie in the US right now.
Actually heard this the other day. They're not an indie anymore. They're just not.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly.
Not just because of their popularity now, but just they're a major company. They are on television. Like you don't call Impact an indie, even though it pretty much is.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point to make.
An indie,
and
like Evolve is like an indie promotion. You know what I mean?
That's true.
You're not watching Ring of Honor.
I guess when you constantly used to assuming the giant of WWE and even New Japan being the monster it is over there and growing so rapidly here.
Yeah,
it feels
this
a
is
little
all
different.
new within the last couple of years for sure. I if anything, that's what I'm exactly trying to bring to attention is it's not an indie anymore.
Yeah. They're all
and the
holding
indies
their
aren't
own.
simply the indies anymore.
Yeah, that too. I mean, your indies, like you've never had more focus and attention on stuff like CZW and
even over in Japan, DDT Pro.
Yeah,
is
DDT.
like it's the smaller stuff, and a lot of huge guys wrestle there. So, anyways, NXT was awesome.
Yeah,
and,
it's just great television.
A lot of Undisputed Era on this episode.
I like
episode
that.
opened with them. Felt like they just felt like the NWO.
In the good way, in the beginning.
Yeah, no,
way.
not like they just felt like this, like just in a cool way, and that weird like camera presentation was kind of like moving around, and the way that the guys were like cracking their neck while they're talking, and like tough guy but not being douchebags. And specifically, more than anything, the song was playing faintly underneath them talking.
It feels like they're getting their own like. They control what they do, but just like drawing a parallel, like how the Elite and the Bucks and them, their promos feel like their promos because it feels like almost like they're doing it, they're putting it on because of the artistic feel to it, and it almost feels like they're getting that same.
The belief in it is there, but just to clarify, total difference because it is still
I'm not trying to like say like but I just mean you can see the artistic. Difference.
There's an organic belief in it. Yeah. Totally. That's a good way actually to quickly comment on that segment. There's total belief in everything they're saying they're going to take over. Bobby Fish is killing it lately verbally. Just saying. way more than I think I ever expected. Already love Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole. Love Bobby Fish too, but I'm just saying he is kind of mouthing himself up another level, if you will. Like he's talking way better than I'd ever seen him in New Japan or Ring of Honor. And I don't know. It's not bothering me.
There's no way around it. Like they are going with these guys. They are going to be huge.
The hand sign thing is really cool. I know we've said that before, but it got used a bit in this episode, and I liked it. So they open it saying they're going to take over. Adam Cole says nothing's going to stop him from becoming the next NXT champion. That's really good stuff, too. Then fucking... What was the first match? I think it was Shayna Baszler.
Shayna Baszler and Dakota Kai.
Which was pretty cool because they showed this clip again that I saw on online at first, but it was still really great. Shayna Baszler at the Performance Center, and like these people are training. And long story short, she put somebody in like a chokehold and doesn't let them out even though they tap in like a basic sparring practice or whatever. I really don't know what you. I think it was more of a demonstration, made out to be. And point being, they show that clip going into her match, and then I think this match is total of like a minute and a half or something. It's really short, and she wins with the choke. She's looking very female Samoa Joe, Brock Lesnar-esque, and just huge clout, if you will, coming in, being able to say this girl's been in the octagon with Cyborg.
I mean, you can't. There's no denying that.
Yeah, it's like Brock. You don't have to suspend your belief at that point, even if they're quote unquote not really fighting.
You've watched these people.
That girl could really
beat ass.
Yeah, so I thought it was dope. Right afterwards, she's backstage with Regal, and she just, I don't know. Brian Alvarez said on Twitter, this was before I watched the episode, but I knew what he meant as I was watching it, so I didn't have to like wait for the spot. That she might be the biggest heel in NXT history with this small performance video package and then post-match promo thing with Regal.
And that's that level of, you got to remember, like you had Kevin go through there, you had Joe go through there. Like those are guys that are predominant, just massive heels. So that means a lot.
But I guess it's worth specifying, especially in their NXT runs. It came off more competitive. Even when Owens attacked Zayn, it was like, I'm doing this because I want to be champion. Like, Shayna Baszler is coming off like, I just want to hurt everyone, and I don't care what anyone has to say or what it does or doesn't get me.
Yeah,
That's
definitely
fucking heel.
It's
That's
definitely
bad.
not exactly normal WWE move, but it's super cool.
Yeah, I just like her. I like the Queen of Spades thing. I believe in her, and I hope when she gets moved up, it's dope. So we get a Cassius Ohno Raul Mendoza match, and that was actually pretty cool.
It was solid for what it was and who was there.
Especially with Ohno losing more recently, even though I was fine with it when he lost to Lars Sullivan. I was absolutely fine with it when he lost to Johnny Gargano in their awesome match a couple weeks ago.
Seems like they're kind of moving with him again.
Yeah, it did. This felt like more of a not a push, but like a more it gave him some momentum. So. Awesome. I love him. Chubby or not. He's great.
Yeah.
Was there some promo stuff before Lars?
Oh, yeah. You had an interview with Selena.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And then, you had her, and then you had the Gargano interview where Velveteen Dream interrupts him, and that was super cool.
Okay, that was great. I can't believe I forgot about this. Okay, so
Dream kills.
Selena's interview was really good too. Yeah. She comes off as a great like heel manager, and I think really helps with the language gap with Almas. She
could definitely bring back the managerial stuff, because there's not that many that do it well lately.
Not to mention she's gotten physically involved, and that's good.
Exactly. I feel like she could pull it off and maybe kind of bring that back to being a cool thing again.
Felt very Lita-esque in her when Lita got involved that one match with Christian, Hurricane ran off the ladder.
Yeah,
she provides that kind of feel when she gets involved. Like I think she did the Galloway match, or maybe it was the other title match almost had it. Or has he had a defense yet on TV? Maybe not. It must have been a Galloway match. Or McIntyre, sorry. Not Galloway. I can't believe I just did that. I was not even trying to sound like a smart guy. I just accidentally called him the wrong name. Anyways, so her interview's great. And then, we go to Gargano backstage. And he's he's excited, or maybe he doesn't even talk. It's just some kind of speculation on like the match and how he's number one contender and all that. And just coming out of the Selena thing, that must have been what it was.
Yeah.
Velveteen Dream walks up and says, "Say it." And so obviously fair to assume, say my name. But he immediately says, "Not my name. Say thank you."
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't for me getting sick or hurt or whatever he said, you wouldn't have had the opportunity against Cassius Ohno to get into the title picture. And more specifically, he says if he wrestled Cassius Ohno, he would have beat him in 30 seconds tops. He spoke in third person for some of this promo, and then for some of it didn't.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like that or if I disliked it.
It definitely felt different, yeah.
Yeah, it was different, and I liked his good play on what the Dream knows. That's what he kept doing. The Dream knows this.
And his demeanor, like, it really...
He's fantastic.
Yeah.
His aura.
I'm really excited for him.
Yeah, he's going to be great whenever he's moved up. And who knows, maybe he will be NXT champion probably before they move him up.
There's no doubt about it.
He's so good in the ring. And apparently he's not very far into this business in terms of...
Yeah, I've heard he hasn't, it's kind of a new thing.
He's a freak athlete, though.
Yeah, seriously.
Kind of nasty. Okay, so from there we go to Lars Sullivan, correct?
Street Profits.
Oh, God. Yeah, I didn't really care for that, though.
I'll just being real. I'm not into them. I don't really have a feel for them.
But see, the difference between us, I don't dislike. I even go to say I like them, but this in particular just felt long. It felt like the unedited version of what was supposed to go in the episode.
I kind of liked the interaction with Regal, but that's just Regal being Regal and like kind of...
Well, and also on that same note, not against Regal, but working with what they were giving him, it felt like he hit the same funny spot twice with looking at the camera and smiling. And you know what I mean? It kind of like... I don't know. Whatever.
But I don't know. I just don't have a good feel for them. I feel like they kind of get put in this niche where they're stuck there, and they're hopefully what happens.
They have pretty good in-ring stuff. They're not bad in ring.
But hopefully with this and them getting the number one contender match, which Regal sets up.
I was gonna say what happens here.
He basically they're basically saying that it begins with them saying that they want tag shots because I think they haven't been beat in the ring stuff that they have done. So
right, that sounds right.
They, obviously
They said
want
they
a
were
shot.
undefeated. Yeah, you're right.
So they go in there and obviously with tag matches already being set up and stuff for everything. Sorry. He sets up a number one contenders match between them.
Oh, you mean because the tag titles are on the line that same night. That's what.
Sorry. This obviously that happening. He sets up a number one contenders match with them and the Authors of Pain, who cut a promo a little bit earlier that we kind of forgot to touch on. Yeah,
we forgot it, which was a good promo. I wish we had
but
in the timeline of things.
Confuses me is like they just should have been gone so long ago. Not from the company, but moved up, I feel like.
Yeah, but this could be their last write-off, or there could be a last-minute decision of where, with Finn,
I really thought Wars Games,
just like with Finn and Shinsuke and Joe, they could feel that NXT as a brand needs them more right now than the main roster.
Yeah,
does.
That's true.
Those guys have definitely won me over. I wasn't into them when they first came out.
But I just see them as they could definitely like they could help Raw easily.
They should be on Raw. There's no question about that. Okay, but we're finally at this Lars Sullivan match, and it's one of the more, even though it's a quick match, it's one of the things I have more of like a speculation-based opinion on, or just opinion on in general, in terms of what happened on the show. In a curious way, that is. Everything else I'm pretty certain of how I feel about. This I just could be wrong, but it's just something I'm thinking about, so we'll get to it in a sec. Lio Rush is the opponent for Lars Sullivan. Obviously, between just pure physics, it being WWE, and then just more than anything, the streak that they have Lars Sullivan on, Lio Rush isn't going to be the guy to break said streak. But it did feel like, again, only 2-minute match, but it felt like this was going to be more, and it kind of was more of a match than Lars Sullivan has had against, especially smaller guys.
That's how I felt. I felt like they gave him a lot more time than other people were getting.
However, and this is where we get into the points I'm trying to raise. Obviously, what you're well aware if you're a wrestling fan, Lio Rush fucked himself on Twitter about a month or so ago, maybe 2 now, when Emma was fired, and he said, I guess that's what happens when you're really not ready for Asuka. Fucking idiot.
He blew that.
Everybody lost their shit on him. Everybody, from indie Mark fans, if you will, all the way up to Lance Storm and people like that, with who are well respected and their opinions on the business are well respected, and just everyone said the same thing. You did the wrong thing here. And point being, what I'm trying to say is, very much in the vein of how it used to be, which I've so heard and through podcasts and even backstage stuff that they show on the network. It's been proven that it isn't the same environment. But point being, maybe kind of in the vein the way it used to be, they said, hey, let's have Lars fucking crush this kid out there.
Yeah.
To punish him, because not only did he beat him with the huge. Did he use a freak accident to pin him?
Jesus, sorry. Wow. Yeah, he hit the freak accident at first. And
Right,
then,
regular one. Okay. I just want to make sure. So he hits the regular one, but it kills him and he pins him. He takes him to the top rope and hits a super freak accident, if you will.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just felt like
They
I don't
were
know.
crushing him.
Could be wrong, but I feel like in general, given
But
the
it also
rush
could,
to Lars Sullivan.
Yeah, exactly. It could also just be, hey, it's Lars, and they're clearly.
No.
going.
I'm saying that booking in the first place could have been the punishment alone for Lio Rush. I think maybe
knowing he wasn't
ago,
doing anything.
Yeah, a month or two ago, they wouldn't have thought to put Lio Rush against Lars Sullivan because they were like, oh no, we're gonna push him. I don't want him. He doesn't need to get crushed. But I think with him doing that, it's like, yeah, no, fuck it. He's small. He can sell. Put him out there and have Lars kill him in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's what happened. And again, nothing wrong with that because
absolutely
this
not.
This is pushing somebody, people. Lars deserves a push. He's a fucking freak. And oh yeah, that was a good thing that came out of this match. I think after the match, could have been before, but I'm pretty sure after. Grabs a mic and challenges Killian Dane, which buddy, it's a big boy matchup right there.
Yeah, and it makes sense.
Yeah, duh, absolutely.
Yeah, just perfect. And you believe it. You believe this could be the guy.
He said he got this taste for basically an equal opponent, one that he wants to destroy, so that he'd go back to having no equal opponents from the Fatal 4-Way, and then that's when he drops Dane's name. And yeah, it felt good. Had a kind of an old school feel to it in the way that you can either normally predict who they're about to challenge, or you just don't care sometimes. This literally, like, you didn't know he was going to say Killian Dane, and it totally makes sense, like you just said. Yep. So good booking. Hopefully,
and you believe, and like with me, I believe like. Yeah, they're going with this guy, but you also could think that Killian could be the guy to beat him.
Oh, no, yes. Absolutely.
He could be that guy. Most likely, no. But...
Yeah, I think that Lars takes him out and maybe Sanity gets sent. Ooh, that's... Oh, actually, no, sorry, we're not there yet. I almost fucked stuff up. Okay, so... that match was great. It was quick. We go backstage. They actually do a classic, something's going on backstage.
Yeah. I was
because it's following up this, it actually seemed for a second like, oh, Lars is going off backstage.
Yeah, because they watched him go up the ramp. That's how I felt.
Yeah, because he stomped out.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying that's bad on the production's part, but it was like almost like a good miscue, even if it wasn't a purposeful one. That's the feeling you got because, surprise, surprise, cut to the backstage, and the Undisputed Era has jumped Sanity, which our main event was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly
so cool.
giving the rematch. Yeah, really cool. They like threw a piece of fence down on him and stuff like that. Just a very wrestling feel. This is like totally not believable backstage looking segment, but again, in a good way. Like not. And even that the backstage isn't actually set up like that, but you appreciate that they did that because
and even more so, the guys that normally would be doing the attacking got attacked. Like that's what really set it off for me.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
That's what I liked about it, at least.
We come back and. Even though when they were walking away, kind of corny, but I also I'm like great. I'm on the line between whether or not I loved or kind of or hated. I don't want to say hated. It's probably too dramatic, but just kind of disliked Bobby Fish saying to the refs as he was walking away after they attacked him before they went to commercial, "We make the rules, you follow the rules." It just seems like he should have said, "You follow them." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't just
more
hey,
direct.
You know what? We make those rules, and those same rules. You're following those rules, buddy. You know what I mean? I don't know, but I nonetheless, I like I said, I'm torn between liking, dislike because I have critique, but like because the line itself was organic and dope. Come back from that little fade out, and they could have, and I feel like normally, dare I say, even a year ago in NXT and prior to that, they would have ended the show with that.
Yeah.
But come back and the boys are in the ring, kind of like suddenly acting like they don't know what just happened, and they're making jokes like, hey, where's Sanity? Do you think maybe they forgot about their tag title match? And man,
this is a very, again, going back to your parallel. It's a very like outsiders-y type feel
just
to it, man.
sarcastic and just like badass.
Like when Kevin and Scott first went over back to WCW, like that had that kind of feel to it. It was really, really cool.
So it's really good stuff. And fucking, does Regal come out first? Yeah, Regal comes out first. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Regal comes out first, and he says some shit.
He
like,
barely gets a couple words out.
You're a sneaky, peeky, or whatever, and cheeky. And Roddy comes out like 2 seconds later, and I won't lie, I didn't groan, but at first, and I love Roderick Strong, not at all groan, but I'm just saying, at first I was like, this
You
doesn't
basically
need to
knew
turn
what
to
was
Adam
happening,
Cole
yeah.
wrestling Roderick Strong again, even though their match on NXT, if you didn't see it from like 2 months ago or whatever, is fucking awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I just, I didn't want to see the same thing again, and it wasn't that because 2 seconds after that, Aleister Black comes out. Or no, I'm sorry, I'm skipping the little segue they had because it was something along the lines of
Regal,
Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly were
yeah.
basically like, oh, I guess we can't have a tag title match. Regal comes out and says you should still have to defend him. Roddy comes out and goes, I'll fight them all, which really works for the Roddy versus everyone type gimmick, which I kind of liked.
Definitely was working with it.
But then Regal says some shit. The setup is some shit along the lines of, but you'd have to find a partner or something like that. And he says, I have one in mind, or something like that. I'm sorry, I'm misquoting this. I normally would have it written down, but I just don't.
Vaguely remember like no words really be getting out because
it
wasn't
a whole lot of lines. Right, it wasn't a whole lot of lines. There was a lot more interruption than talking, but in a good way. And point being, who comes out but Aleister Black, who this all is by the way making sense because Roderick had his own problems in Undisputed Era. Aleister Black has had his own problems with Adam Cole in Undisputed Era. So like, it's all just tying together. And anyways, these two come down to challenge for the tag titles. And don't get me wrong, they're not going to win it, but there's like a small feeling of like, man, are they going to do like a week? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
quick
they get it off and then like, oh crap, and
So this match is good. It's not a super long match, but basically culminates in Adam Cole trying to distract Aleister Black to the point that he like chases him up into the crowd, and that's how O'Reilly and Fish hit the, what are they calling it? The total elimination?
Something like that. I haven't directly.
We'll get it for sure next week. It's like a tag team move where they do a leg sweep. And basically kind of like the side effect type move or like a sit-out type lariat. Just like a joint move. Kind of similar to Wasteland by the Ascension. But just done in a more like tactical MMA type style, which totally fits the guys that are doing it. So anyways, yeah, they hit Roddy with this. He doesn't look weak getting pinned. They have an awesome match. I don't have move-specific stuff. Go watch the match. It's not long. It's only 8 minutes
The
or
only
so.
thing that I really picked out, Roddy does this backbreaker. He does the backbreaker and then catches the belly-to-belly on top of the person he did the backbreaker to. I know I just did the movements for you, and no one can see that, so...
It was a good reenactment, though.
Yeah.
You look just like him.
Yeah, just like him. But yeah, that really... I popped for that because... I'm wearing tights.
Yeah, no, absolutely, dude. I know what spot you're talking about. There was another one too. I'm trying to remember.
I did notice there was not little, but Aleister just wasn't that involved as much.
No, but
with the
I
whole
think that was on
situation,
purpose in the way that
because
when he was involved, he kicked the shit out of them.
Yeah,
you know what
that's
I mean?
true.
He's like he's stronger than a tag team individually,
and more and anything. I think he's more directed to be obviously because of Takeover and stuff. He's getting.
Singles push or
single,
and main roster. Sorry.
And he's not fighting the tag team; he's fighting Cole. So this isn't exactly his battle.
Right. But he does like a good bad job selling when he realizes that he lost the match.
Yeah.
Out in the crowd, because it's not like actually good acting, but it's just the idea that like, oh, good, look at that, Aleister Black acting like he's or doing the thing you're supposed to do in wrestling when this happens. You know what I mean? I like that. He did not do a very. It was not a very believable jaw drop.
No,
maybe
it
it's just
that
because you're not
Cole was
seeing,
sitting
you're not
there
used to seeing that
behind
guy.
him on the stairs, like giving the good sell, like, oh, we did it, like.
Right. You know what? That's exactly my point. Adam Cole is someone you're used to seeing express himself with his face, and Aleister Black is so much more solemn and like to himself that. Yeah. So, anyways, this was a good episode of television. Like I said, I just like Ring of Honor, I give this one the 8 as well, and I think that bumps down our normal TV stuff to 6 or 7 range. And good for them. Good for the 1 hour shows.
Absolutely.
More traditional wrestling.
And they should be.
Anyways.
They should be competing for those people to come watch this. Obviously, everyone's gonna watch everything, but
well, no, like I just said, 1 hour is better for wrestling overall. Yeah, it leaves you wanting more, but is wanting more better than?
And these guys are just as you've watched right now. Look at the main roster and everything. These guys are the future. So if anything goes to prove.
And a good segue out of that NXT, Aleister Black has dropped a clothing line collaboration with Black Craft Clothing.
Yep.
They're
cool.
already dope. They're already dope as is,
Yep.
but his first shirt is a Root of All Evil long sleeve. It's got like a pentagram on the front or some
Yeah.
shit. It's dope. Check it out. I'm probably
a few
gonna get
people
it myself.
have done stuff with them. I think Seth has done some stuff with them at one
Yes,
time.
he has.
It's very cool.
Yeah, definitely. He did that like face shirt. Actually, it's
Yeah.
pretty cool. Okay, so yeah, that's our TV stuff. I think we're gonna cap it off with our rumored and internet news type stuff. Big one in relation to WWE that we obviously have to get to. Paige is
Yeah.
potentially looking at the end of her career.
It sucks. That's real sad shit.
That stinger she experienced in Long Island is developing something towards the realm of what forced Edge to retire, and I don't believe we're looking at all at like a Daniel Bryan speculation based type situation. I think this is she's got to maybe be done, and that maybe is already a decision that has been made, and they're figuring out how to go about it rather than something they're waiting to hear about, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's real. That's some real unfortunate shit. She's young and she's gone through some stuff. It's a shame because she definitely had.
Well, we don't
all
know.
the
We don't
potential
know
in the
for
world.
sure.
But
yet.
yeah, like hopefully
we
not.
personally don't know for sure.
Yeah.
Yet.
But the
sure
way
do hope
the
it
internet's
isn't true,
talking,
though.
it's looking.
Yeah, I
looking
read
not
it from
so good for her.
IGN, and IGN normally doesn't promote
Yeah, they don't
clickbait type stuff.
Yeah.
So, at least in the obscure world of wrestling.
yeah, exactly. They're generally very direct and factual.
So I'd say that's probably one of the biggest stories of the week, and as it develops, of course, we'll keep anyone that doesn't know about it otherwise as updated as possible.
If we're your news source, then boy, you need to hit the internet.
Just buy it.
Just literally log on. Like you don't even.
But I do feel like we're missing a piece of info here.
There's always something you want to talk about, though. So just shoot.
Yeah, what's on your mind, bro? No, I feel like there's something that Kenny. I found out from that Jericho Kenny podcast. This has nothing to do with their match, but just something I thought was cool. Kind of the original plan for Kingdom was going to be Kenny and Kota Ibushi.
Really? Was it supposed to be like a coming to?
No story,
No,
just the idea from the
just-
office of like, you guys will have a great match, and that's why Kenny was like, I got to do something different. There's also a big kind of controversial story on that same podcast involving kind of a furthered explanation of why Kenny had the getup he had on at Kingdom and what was supposed to happen that didn't. And that shouldn't surprise the fans who watched last year when Kenny got his little intro movie for Terminator and all that.
Yeah.
It was pretty much supposed to be something along the lines of that. It's very cool. You got to listen to this podcast and hear. This part I want to ruin because especially hearing Kenny explain it and it's his idea organically. Woo, great idea, Eric. I'm going to tell you about it after the episode.
Okay.
But, I don't want to ruin it for anybody else. I'm going to ruin it for you. But yeah. Anyways, just listen to this episode. I still feel like there's something we're missing, but I guess it's not important.
I don't know.
It's Saturday, so just a couple of days we'll be watching Too Much Wrestling again, and just a couple of days after that we'll be talking to you about it.
And
this week we're playing.
Wait, wasn't Isn't Evolve tonight?
Yes, that's it.
That's
Thank you,
what
my
it was.
friend.
Yeah.
Tonight is Evolve 98. I was trying to go. It's in Queens. Decided to save a little money. I'm actually going to order it on Fight, even though obviously I'm late.
I'll probably
to it.
honestly do the same. Maybe we'll see.
Yeah, it's only 15 or something
not
like
bad.
that. And I think you keep it for life afterwards. So anyways, but Zack Sabre Jr. versus Darby Allin alone is a reason to watch this. And there's a bunch of other matches on the show too. I don't want to try and name. I know I'm not going to get them right.
Yeah.
Tomorrow there's another show too. I don't know if it's going to be on the Fight app, but it's in Brooklyn. If I wasn't working, I'd be going. Truth be told, if I wasn't working, I'd be going to see Iron Sheik in Long Island because that's what's happening tomorrow night. But I'll be working.
Damn work.
Brother. Thanks so much, guys, for
Absolutely.
listening to this bullshit. Next week, we're going to do normal talk on TV, and hopefully
something
we'll have
happens.
hopefully there'll be some developments as far as this Page stuff goes. Maybe some NXT announcements.
Yeah.
And the Royal Rumble is coming up in just a couple
exactly.
weeks.
I expect now we're getting into that realm where stuff does start happening. So
Plus, that Takeover Philadelphia is the night before.
and
so excited for both.
Raw 25,
Woo!
which will be
What a month.
Yeah.
That's been the weekend show. Thanks so much for listening. We will see you in hell. Motherfucker.
You fucking die.
Talk to you on Wednesday. Goodbye.